With the Venmo debit card, you can Venmo everything. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit Venmo.me/debit to learn more. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. The card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
This year would have been Elvis Presley's 90th birthday, and the Westgate is celebrating by recreating his 1969 residency show. So today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're here with Elvis's stepbrother, storyteller David Stanley, to talk about Elvis's legacy in the city and why Las Vegas continues to idolize the rock star to this day. It's Tuesday, July 29th. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. David, tell us about your relationship you had with your brother Elvis.
Well, it began very young. I was only 4 years old when I moved into the Graceland Mansion in Memphis, Tennessee. My mother was divorced, had 3 babies. Elvis's father was widowed. So you have a widowed father meeting a divorced mother. They got married July 3rd, 1960, and we moved into the Graceland Mansion. Our big brother was Elvis Presley. Most people think it had to be just really cool. I was so young, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, we had coming out of a broken family. And now all of a sudden I have a new dad, a new big brother, a new house in Memphis, Tennessee. I guess what I remember the most about it, though, is when we went in and Elvis picked each of us up. Billy was 7, Ricky was 5, I was 4. And he gave us a hug and he welcomed us into his family. And that hug is what I remember the most. See, I didn't see Elvis from the iconic guy.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't care what he had or who he was. He picked up a confused 4-year-old boy and said, "Welcome to my family."
So if you're moving into Graceland, that means that he's already pretty more than established at that point. He's pretty well known. So you were really growing up with him at the peak of his early fame.
He went to the Army, Germany, from 58 to 60. And when he came back, it was kind of picking it up where he left off. He started making movies, 3 movies a year for about nine years. My life growing up was backlots of movie studios, falling asleep in recording studios. Some of the crazy stuff, when I started school, you know, being driven to school in a pink Cadillac every day is a crazy thing, but especially in the South. I mean, this is before Mary Kay. I remember he was signing autographs in the car one day. My brother Billy goes, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm signing autographs." He says, "Why are you doing that?" He says, "Well, some people think I'm famous." and Billy goes, "What does famous mean?" And they said, "Are you as famous as Mickey Mouse?" And so that's how we got it. I mean, because Elvis was Elvis. He wasn't, you know, your high-collar, hound dog, slurred speaker. He was
family.
He was 24 years old, and he took us in when he didn't have to.
So do you remember seeing Elvis perform during his 1969 residency here in Las Vegas?
In 1969, my life was, like I said, 13 years old. I was a Beatle fan, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, The Who. That was my generation. Elvis was a crooner to me. You know, he was like Frank. You know, he was gospel songs and love songs. And while he had a tremendous voice and I had a lot of respect for him, he just wasn't my thing. Because, again, you know, most people say, "God, you just had to love Elvis." I loved the guy. It wasn't the image. I love the guy as the person. So we all go out to Vegas, and my mom makes us go to a clothing store before we left Memphis from Vegas and have us all dressed out. Well, we had on scarves and jackets and bags. We looked more like pimps than we did people.
I mean, it was 69, you know?
Oh, it was crazy. So we go and they seat us, you know, VIP obviously. And we sit down and I'm just going, this should be interesting. Elvis came out and started to do his thing. And I just went, my God, this guy. Okay. That's when I started going, you know, that's my big brother up there. Because then I got it. This guy's a singer. He's a rock star.
Yeah.
And as I grew older, other bands would talk about him. Zepp would talk about him, Elton John, Paul McCartney, Eric Clapton. And they'd say, if it wasn't for him, there would be no us. And all of that radiated with me growing up. And I always respected Elvis, always liked him. But that night, after the show, All of the family went up to him and I said, "Elvis, that was unbelievable." He said, "David, I've been wrong for so long, but I'm right tonight." And I just
Oh,
looked at him. That was 1969. We came back in 70, 71, 72. And in 72, I was working for him full time. 16 years old, dropped out of school. So from 72 to 76, I was at all the shows. I did about 400 and something shows without there. Then we toured all over the U.S. We worked a lot. But Vegas, on the night of July 31st of 69, was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life.
wow.
I'm putting a lot of pressure on the Elvis guy. I'm expecting this to be equally as good.
I I know. So you and I are both going to, well, it was the International when Elvis opened there in 69. Now
Right.
it's the Westgate, and they are recreating this performance on July 31st. We're both very excited. I'm excited about it because I'm a historian and I love everyday history. Like, people don't necessarily think of this as history, and it obviously was history making.
Oh, yeah,
What are
it was.
your expectations going to an event like this?
Well, nobody's going to be Elvis, so I'm not expecting that.
Yeah.
But I know this kid, and he's good.
Yeah?
He's good. Good band behind him. He's good. He's very articulate. What Elvis wore, what scarf color, what rings he had on, and he's a good kid. He's good. I think people will get an idea of what it was like. I think they'll feel like that they're back in the day,
Yeah.
and that's what's important. A lot of memories. I mean, obviously, I'm going to sit there and go, 50-something years ago, I was sitting in center seats with my family as Elvis did what we called, the Vegas years, the beginning
Yeah.
of the Vegas years.
I think it's so interesting the way that you sort of framed, like, you were a teenager and you're like, no, this isn't my bag. This is
Exactly.
And that's how he was sort of framed when he came to Vegas too. Like, the Beatles were for the kids, and for the older
Right.
folks, here's Elvis. And yet I don't think that there is a performer in Vegas that has influenced, had a long-lasting influence on the city more than Elvis had. Why do you think we, as Las Vegans, we remain fascinated with his presence here in the city?
Well, Vegas is loyal to some things. And I think they remembered what it was like when Elvis was there.
Yeah.
There was excitement, it was energy, it was a consistent bombardment of greatness. Now, you got to figure this out. 2 shows a night for a month.
Oof.
That's 60 shows a month.
Yeah.
And he did that in February and did it again in August, twice a year. It was grueling. Nowadays, a show or two, they go home a week or two.
Yeah.
Elvis was there every day, every night, 2 shows a night. The hard work that he put into it, I think people admired. But then what made the show so great was the fact that Elvis was a great singer,
Yeah.
tremendous magnetism, unbelievable charismatic personality. I mean, Elvis could walk in a room and just stand there and people would just be freaked out.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the gift that every entertainer wishes they had. I mean, the Beatles don't even have it.
Yeah.
Michael had it. Michael Jackson would be the only one I'd put up there. But even Michael, there was something about Elvis that was just, we couldn't explain. I talked to his manager back in the tour days when Elvis was on stage. His name's Colonel Parker. I said, Colonel Parker, why don't you put smoke and lasers and, I was watching too many Kiss concerts. And he goes, I don't need it, David. Give me a flat black stage with 6 spotlights and I'll give you a historical event. Elvis is not a concert; it's a historical event, and I stole that from him because at my show, my brother Elvis, an evening with David Stanley, it's not a show; it's a historical event.
Yeah.
As I work at Westgate as the ambassador, I'm responsible for the authenticities of the things that happen there.
And I know that his shows here represented a bit of a change in his own style, too, that it was this really full sound. And then this is when he started getting into his white sequin jumpsuits, too. So it's a little bit more, he changed Vegas, but Vegas changed him a little bit, it seems like.
Well, he was trying to stay ahead of the curve,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't have to try too hard. He started out in the white suits and stuff and cool. And as he got older, he went into the rhinestones, and that wasn't my cup of tea, but he could sing. And, that's what made him great. I mean, there's no other Elvis out there. There never will be.
Yeah.
This guy. I mean, we're doing a recreation, and the shows are sold out.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and zero cooking. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite food delivered straight to you. Get Burger King, Subway, Popeyes, and hundreds more local favorites and savor every last bite. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
What do you think Elvis's influence has been on music here in Vegas? I mean, he started the idea of residencies really in the city. What are the ramifications of that here?
I don't think that Vegas is any different than anywhere. You could take out Vegas, but in the world, his effect on people. It just so happened that happened at our place, the house that Elvis built, the International Theater, now Westgate. The concerts were extensions of Elvis's greatness as a singer. Then he brought in the sexy movement and jumpsuits and coolness. I mean, when I think about Elvis, and I lived with this guy for 17 years. When I think about Elvis, I open a dictionary, look up the word cool, and you'll see his picture.
But he was always sexy, famously so.
Right.
Even before the jumpsuits.
Oh, yeah. And so the people of Vegas, there's some that are of us that are old enough to remember a time, Everything after Elvis, like John Lennon said, before Elvis, there was nothing. Before Elvis in Vegas, there was not Vegas.
Yeah.
Elvis raised the bar.
He defined it in some ways.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is Vegas.
I mean, and you can still see that today because you can walk down any given street and walk past an Elvis, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I was a little nervous about this show because I have seen some not quite as top-notch Elvis impersonators in the city. Like, what do you think of these more comical aspects of Elvis in Vegas today? Like, the Elvis weddings and you can get an Elvis can pick you up at the airport too?
Yeah, I do know that. Westgate had a Elvis festival last weekend.
Yeah.
And they were like professional ETAs. They had bands. They had, authenticity. And, I never was an ETA fan, an Elvis fan, impersonator fan, because like you said, there's, running down, the strip and doing crazy stuff. Some of them do the show, they think they're Elvis. I have no interest in seeing any Elvis impersonations. And so this thing happened last week. There was about 5 of them. And I said, I'm going to go because as part of just being the ambassador of the resort representing Elvis, I thought it'd be a good thing. I was blown away. I mean, there was about 3 of those guys that were just like, what? Unbelievable. I mean, believable. Because I'd sit there and just look at him and go, wow. A couple of guys sounded just like him.
Wow.
A couple of guys when they turned their head, the lighting would make them, be a frozen shot in my head of Elvis.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not if you sit and look at them, they're just who they are. But the way they move their heads and the way the lighting is, you'd swear that's him. But then again, the difference is the massive charisma.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that Las Vegas ever overdoes it with the idolization of Elvis? Like, do we make him a caricature too much?
Well, he already is a character here in Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't think that they overdo it. But even the characters, they're fun to look at.
Yeah.
You'll see somebody dressed as Elvis and you think to yourself, well, there's a bold person. They love Elvis so much that they want to dress like him and be like him. And, I mean, doing the weddings, I see the fun in that.
Yeah.
I see the fun. So there's a place for all of them. But unfortunately, it's not the stage. There's only a few that can take the stage effectively.
Yes. And he's almost like mythological now, like a Paul Bunyan figure. And some of the Elvis impersonations are more like permutations, that they're not trying to be wholly him. They're trying to capture something about him, but also make it their own, too. It's kind of fascinating.
A lot of them are just trying to get attention.
Yeah,
They don't really care about Elvis. Just look at me. I'm crazy.
Yep.
I think I'm Elvis.
Yep. Hey, and you know what? They're out there making a living. Bless our Elvis
God
impersonators. So, the recent Elvis movie, it focused on some of the more tragic aspects of his residency here. And you already mentioned his grueling schedule. You got to respect his hard work. But do you think that really took a toll on him?
Oh, it had to, yeah. I went to work for Elvis at 16. Now I'm a personal aide and bodyguard to Elvis. I'm 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. We're doing 2 shows a night every month. We're doing 60 shows. I was tired. And, I'm not doing the show. Elvis, 2 shows a night. And the energy that Elvis put into a show, he worked hard. But, yeah, that had a lot to do with it. He burned out. The last couple of years of Elvis's life was very difficult. I did the first show with him when he came here in 69, and the last show when he came in 76 in December. And there was a huge difference. You couldn't even recognize him because he made some choices that cost him his life. Heavy drugs killed Elvis.
Yeah.
That broke my heart. I walked in the bathroom the day he died and saw him dead.
Yeah.
And I knew that the medications had caught up with him. All these years later, I still think about that. I'm a speaker and advocate on drug abuse and prescription drug abuse. And I use the story, when I tell my Elvis story, I tell the fun times, good times, sad times, but also tragic times. Mm-hmm. Because if drugs can kill Elvis, they can kill anybody. And so we have a foundation called the Raised on Rock Foundation, to where we raise money, nonprofit, 501c3, and we take the monies and distribute to places in need, whether it be a halfway house or a boy's house or girl's mother's house or anti-drug, anything, that's drug-related, we fight back. So Elvis's death wasn't in vain. It was tragic, but even in his death, there's light.
David, that's really beautiful. And so I'm so glad you were able to take that lesson away from that and
God, yeah.
Turn that tragedy into something that, hopefully is going to stop that from happening to others.
I can't save everybody, but I can save at least one, is my motto.
I just MailChimped my marketing.
You MailChimped your what?
I MailChimped my marketing with AI to create an effective marketing campaign in minutes.
No, MailChimp and Way.
Yes, MailChimp and Way. Now I can hyper-personalize my campaigns across email and SMS.
You can do all that with MailChimp?
What did I just MailChimp and say?
MailChimp your marketing with the #1 AI-powered email marketing and automation platform, Intuit MailChimp. #1 based on publicly available data on competitors' customers. Plans vary. SMS available as add-ons. Visit MailChimp.com.
Got some good news for your ears. More of that good stuff is coming up. And even better news for your hair. The best hair care is at Sephora. They've got all kinds of products for every kind of hair. From brands like Amika, Kerastase, Day, and K18. You knew where to get great audio. Now, you know where to get great hair care too. Sephora. Good news for great hair. Shop hair care now at Sephora.com.
Kind of building off of that, how can we best honor Elvis's legacy here in Las Vegas? He gave everything to us.
I think that to love Elvis, you love him in the 60s and 70s. To love the Elvis I knew, great, wonderful, caring, loving, giving, greatest person I knew. Self-destruct on medications that were prescribed by doctors. I think what we can do is we lost our friend. I lost my brother. Vegas lost its biggest act. Let's don't be afraid to say what happened to him. Mm-hmm. We're not focusing on this end. We're dealing with his life. But we talk about we lost him. How did we lose him? And to honor Elvis, how can we stop that from happening to anybody else? Mm-hmm. That's the way I feel.
David, before we go, will you tell us a little bit about the show that you do every month at the Westgate?
Well, it's kind of a combination. I mean, a lot of fans come to the Westgate. So it's only 30 people, 50 max, because the tables are on the stage, not in the it's in the showroom, but we're on stage. So they come in the front door, and an individual takes them down to the backstage area, shows them where Elvis's dressing rooms were, takes them back upstairs, backstage, shows them the backstage. Then when he's done, they walk around to the front of the stage, where the tables are, and they're seated on the stage. Then there's me and a guy named Gordy, who does a great job at kind of interviewing me. David, tell us what it was like when you first moved to Graceland. Tell us this, tell us that, tell us this. And we do that for about 30, 40 minutes. And then we do a 20-minute Q&A. And these Elvis fans are like, dripping with tell me more. I mean, and they know more than I do. Somebody will say, Elvis does, I think, this many records as a fan to go, this, and they're always right. But they get a kick out of being backstage, and they get a kick out of being on the stage. Because I'll say to them, you realize that we're sitting on the stage where Elvis Presley himself did 636 shows. You're in a spotlight right now. Oh, they love it. They love David, and I love them.
David, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to talk about that maybe I forgot to ask you?
Well, I just say, be thankful that there was an Elvis. And look how many people he entertained, and look how many lives he changed just by being Elvis. He sang gospel music at Elvis shows. He was a believer. He believed that God had given him a phenomenal gift to reach people, which he did. I mean, it's 50-something years ago, and I'm sitting here talking to you about Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Just, love the guy for who he was and what he did, and never forget that he never forgot where he came from. And I'm still glad. I'm glad we have Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have the Westgate. I'm glad we have people at Westgate that want to keep the Elvis name alive, and we're going to do that as long as I can live. Somebody will do it after me.
Yeah.
Ironically, I'll be 70 next month. All the guys I worked with are dying. There's only like 2 of us left. So, stuff like this history, preserve it. Someday somebody will say, David Stanley, we've got all kinds of tape on him. I'm a disciple. I'm the bearer of the flame, the keeper of the torch.
Was it encouraging to see all of those people so engaged at like the Elvis Impersonator conference, and to see this young person on stage, on the 31st? Does that feel like the torch is getting passed on?
I think the name and likeness of Elvis will be passed on. That'll be passed on, but I think, that's where I thank God for Elvis records.
Yeah.
Elvis was charismatic, cute, and strong, but just do an Elvis song, and you'll get it. So that's going to be the legacy, the music.
Yeah. He's still entertaining us.
Oh, yeah.
David, thank you so much for this conversation.
Well, thank you.
And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. Hey, if you enjoyed our show, please send it to a friend. It's the best way to get the word out about what we're doing. You can rate the show and leave us a review anywhere you get your pods, and subscribe to our morning newsletter on our website. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care. Is it true he loved peanut butter, bacon, banana sandwiches?
Everybody does that down south. Somebody said, how could Elvis do that? Everybody did it. I grew up on peanut butter and banana sandwiches with bacon. He ate them, I ate them. I love them. I wish I had one right now.